Online, do you hear me?
Anybody have their S7s here? Anybody have S7s? Get out.
Yes? Okay, good. All right. Let's have fun. It's my one of my favorite subject that you guys hate.
Price reduction.
Oh, you hate that? No, this is good. Price reduction is actually cool because you know you're going to make money after that. So it's fine. It's a hard conversation, but money follows. So, practicing. Who likes practicing, honestly? Don't go. You all go, love to go to the gym, right? Who does? Honestly, who does?
Me, I do.
Oh, so all of you do. Okay, great. Most of you do. Okay. Why do you go to the gym?
Stay healthy.
To stay healthy?
Stay
To
tuned.
get fit? To what?
Good.
To eat sweets. I like that. Yes, I like that. Okay, what else? Who? For the ladies?
For the ladies. Oh my God.
I like, at least is honest.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
And deal with the heavy workload. When
To work with the heavy-
very busy, I have to go to gym every day.
So when you're very busy, you need to release that energy.
Not release, I need to keep healthy.
Oh,
Always
okay.
healthy to
Keep
to
in
the
health.
Stress. I can feel the stress and not stress.
Yeah.
But when
Then
I'm
you
not
don't know,
so
but we
busy,
sell
I
these
cannot
phones,
go
huh?
to gym.
No, I'm taking
And then the transcript is faster.
practice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going, sorry.
Yeah,
Should be
so it's
efficient,
just when not so busy,
Mhm.
I'm not so stressed, I'm always healthy. I do not need to go to gym.
So really to keep strength going, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Other reasons. Why do you go to the gym? Why do you go to the gym? Two reasons. Other than the guys. What else? No. He's going for the girls. Go ahead.
You look good, you feel good, you do good. That's one.
Okay.
Two, to zone out.
To what?
To zone out.
To zone out. I like that. Okay. All right. Cool. I like it. So you're like in your little bubble. I like it. Okay. All these answers are good. Let me tell you something. It's the same in real estate. It's exactly the same thing in real estate. You have to understand this. There's two type of agents. Well, there's three type of agents. Okay. There's the productive ones, the ones that make money. That's about 10%. I'll be generous, 15. Okay, but in reality, it's 10. 10% of the agents make most of the money. Then you have the other 90% that don't make the money that they're supposed to make. And then if I have 10 and 90, I'm already at 100. Which one is the third one? The ones that left the business. Okay, or will leave, or they're on their way to leave the business. I'm being very, very, very harsh on you, but that's reality. That's exactly what's going to happen in 2023. It started in 2022, mid 2022, and it's going to keep going in 2023. We will lose a lot of agents. There's the good news. The ones that remain will make more money. So, if a person eats badly, goes to McDonald's every day, doesn't go to the gym, doesn't do any type of exercise, is he more at risk of dying than the other? I'm not saying he will, but is he or she more at risk of dying than if a person eats more greens, healthy food, and goes to the gym? Right? Now, is there a correlation with the quality of food and your exercise and your lifestyle? Somebody said here, I go to keep a good health. Who was it? You? Okay. You? Yeah, both of you. That's true. You see, if you're not fit, you could have all the money in the world. If you're not fit, if you're sick, what is it worth? Nothing. So your health is the only thing you have. If you lose it, you're gone. It's finished. You're dead. Warren Buffett said this, okay? He was sitting in front of high school kids, and he said this. He said, I offer to buy you the car of your dream, whatever the car is. You choose the car and I'll pay for it. Okay? He says, but there's something that comes with it. It's the only car you will ever drive for the rest of your life. That's your body. Your body comes perfect. You screw it up. In real estate, it's the same thing. When you get your license, you're all equal. Okay? The minute you get your license, you are equal to everybody else. You are equal to Fadi. You are equal to the best teams in this industry. You have that power. It's up to you to keep it or not. Okay? That's the only thing. So some agents that I see here have been doing very, very well. Iris, how long have you been in the business? A year? No, it hasn't been a year.
16 months.
That's what I was going to say. 16? A year and a half?
13.
It was last summer, I remember. Last
No,
October.
the year before October.
Yeah, October.
I
remember that conversation. So how many transactions are you going to do this year?
I want to do 35.
35. Okay. What are you doing to get to 35? I know what you're doing, but I want you to tell them.
What I'm doing prospect every day.
It's true. I know that.
Follow up my leads really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Try to sell every listing I have.
Try to sell every listing, which is what? You have to adjust what prices? Right?
Yeah,
What else?
prices.
How many listings do you have right now that haven't sold in the past 3 weeks?
Like 8.
So what does that mean to you? What do you need to do?
Yeah, try to talk to them to decrease the price, lower the price.
Why are you trying to talk to them to lower the price?
That part I'm not strong at to talk to them to lower.
Okay, so that means you still have to work on that part. See, this is what I'm trying to explain to you. No matter how good you are, there's always something you need to work on. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So practicing your script and developing your skills is the name of the game. You see, if you have the right attitude and you have the right skills, you'll have the right mindset and you'll succeed. And if you want to succeed and have the right mindset, you'll need to do what? Practice your scripts and increase your skills. It goes together. See, we don't want to practice our scripts because they're hard or it's difficult or we don't want to do it. That means we cannot increase our skills. Can we increase our confidence when we're sitting in front of a seller that asks us a question for which we cannot answer? How do you feel? That you're doing pretty well. How many transactions did you do in 2022? 31? 21. Okay. So if you're sitting with a seller and he asks you about the market and you don't know the answer, what are the odds that you will list? Answer this. Okay? So skill is the name of the game. And to increase your skills, you need to practice. You see, you look at a person like, what's his name? That amazing swimmer, the American swimmer. Phelps. Okay? Do you think this guy practices? Every day. I'm going to see the Bruins tonight. Who's going to me? Okay, I'm the only one. Okay, good. Well, I won't see you. I'm going to go see the Bruins tonight. So I'll talk about hockey a little bit because I need you guys to see that this is you got to be an athlete in real estate. You can't be just a real estate agent, broker, whatever. It's not gonna grow. You need to be an athlete. And to be an athlete, let's concentrate on athletes. What do athletes do? So let's look at the Canadians, okay, the Habs. Who's their best player? Suzuki? Is that their best player? Yeah, okay. So I don't know them anymore. I'm getting too old. I used to follow like every single player. I'm not as good as I used to. So let's talk about that guy. How many minutes does he play in a game? And he plays a lot. He plays more than the average player. How many minutes in a 60-minute game? How many minutes? 20, 22? Let's say 20, okay? Let's say 20 minutes. So how many games do the Habs play throughout the year? 81? So let's call it 80 just to have a round figure because he's going to be sick in one of them. So let's say 80. So he plays 20 minutes times 80. That's 160 minutes, correct? No, that's 1,600 minutes, correct? So how many hours is that? Can anybody make a quick math? I'll tell you, it's about 60 hours, correct? Right? 60? 40? 1,600 minutes divided by 60. How much? 35, that's what I said. 40, I wasn't too far. Okay. So now let me ask you this. So that's 1 week of work. Think about it. Okay. He works for a week, for the Canadians, is actually working for a week. How much is he paid? How much is he paid? 10, 12, 15, 20 million? I don't know.
Yes.
So 20 million for a week is not bad.
Oh,
That's a good salary. What do you guys think? Is that a good salary? Now let me ask you the truth. Is this guy really working for a week? Not really. This guy trains 8 hours. Has anybody here ever watched a training session of the Montreal Canadiens? Other than you did? Have you seen how they practice? So I'll tell you my experience. Okay. I saw the same play. They played the same play, the same single damn boring play, at least 30 times. And every time they would do it, again, you see the coach say, again. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? They were doing it again and again and again and again and again and again for 20, 30 times. The same boring play. Pass, shoot, pass, shoot, pass, shoot. That's boring. Well, guess what? They're getting paid a lot of money to do that. They're going to shut their mouth and practice. So you see, it's all about practice. If you see a guy like, for example, Bruce Lee anticipated what was the punch that he was getting from his counter person and blocking it off naturally. Why? Because he did it so many thousands and millions of times that it became natural. It became an instinct. So for the ones that know, would you cut your commission, please? The only one knows the script. No, any other questions? It's simple, right? But if you don't practice it, that's what happens. Right? By how much, right? So if you want to have skills, if you want to be strong in front of a client, you need to know your scripts. And to know your scripts, you need to practice them. So just want to see if there's, by the way, guys, if you have any questions online, there's a lot of people online. If you have any questions, leave them and I'll take them at the end, please. Okay. So what are the two most important rules in selling? What are the most important rules in selling? Can you say it out loud, please? Ask questions. You need to learn how to ask questions. How many type of questions is there? Three. Three type of questions. Write them down. Write them down. This is going to help you in your relationships. This is going to, who's single here? Good. So if you ever have a date, you'll be able to make a good understanding of who you're actually dating. So three type of questions. Three type. The first type, open-ended questions. Open-ended questions. These are the questions that starts with who, write them down, who, how, why, where, and what. Okay? Remember those. These are the questions that starts with these words. Why do we have these questions? Why do we build these questions? Yeah, it's not yes and no. Say it, yeah. You want to know what's going on in their mind. So if I say to you, what did you do this morning? You can't say yes or no. You have to tell me what you did this morning. So let's who wants to practice with me? Okay, so what did you do this morning from 9 to 12?
I knock on doors and make some phone calls or follow-up.
Mm-hmm. Now you see, she gave me a vague answer. You guys know me, right? Oh, that's interesting. So you knocked on doors and you made some calls? Amazing. So how many calls did you make?
Only 4 to 5 calls.
4 to 5 or 5 or 4?
5 or 4. 5.
5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't seem to be sure. Is it 4 or 5?
I think it's more than 5. But
it's more than so you're not tracking your numbers. That's a yes or no answer. You see. So you're not tracking your numbers, correct?
Not this morning.
Not this morning.
I write down by the end of the day.
Okay, fair enough. And how many doors did you knock on?
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You see, she's thinking. It's important. I'll tell you something. Your prospects are the same. See? Now, it's not a vague answer. So the way you ask a question is, first, you ask the question. Second, you listen to the answer. A lot of us are so stuck with our question that we don't listen to the answer. And now we're not having a conversation anymore. Okay? So when you do ask a question, you got to make sure to listen to the answer. Now, that's the first type of question. Second type of question, write it down. Directional questions. Directional questions. Directional questions. These are the questions that will direct your prospect towards an area where you want them to be. So, let's say I was having a conversation again with Iris about her prospecting this morning. And I want to bring her to say something, and you'll see she's going to say exactly what I want her to say. Okay? That's a coaching call, a quick coaching call that I'm going to do with her. So Iris, you said you spoke to 4 people this morning on the phone?
5 phone calls.
5?
Follow-up.
Okay. And how many door knocks did you do? How many people did you see face to face?
I knocked on 6 doors, but I only see 2 people.
So in total, you saw 6 people.
I knocked on 6 doors, but only 2 open.
But 2 actually were real conversations.
Contact.
Okay. And how many appointments did you take?
I didn't get any appointments.
No appointments,
I got
okay.
both of the phone numbers. I need to follow up with them. Yeah.
So you need to follow up with them. So let me ask you, typically, how many contacts do you have to do in order to make a sale? What am I doing? I'm still asking open-ended questions, right? Yeah, go ahead.
To do a sale, I don't know yet. I only know right now I need to make 18 calls, 18 contacts per day to get where I want to go.
Okay, and where's that? Where do you want to go?
35 transactions.
35 transactions. So which means what? Every 18 contacts, what happens?
I need to get a listing appointment.
So every 18 contacts, you're getting a listing appointment? Is that what's happening right now?
I'm trying for that direction, but not every day I can succeed to have a listing.
Okay. So let me ask you, Iris, if you were adamant about having every day a listing presentation, how many people do you need to talk to?
Right now, I try to talk to 18 people per day.
Mhm.
I couldn't guarantee one listing appointment.
Okay, so it takes more than 18. So how many does it take? Now you see, now
I don't know.
I'm talking more specific question. You don't know.
I don't know.
Great. Now where do I want to bring her? Anybody knows? Thank you. You're smart. So let me ask you, Iris, how will you ever know how many? Now, am I going to tell her what I want? No. That's a directional question. You watch that directional question. So, Iris, what's more important for you? To just make contacts or know how many contacts it takes to make a listing?
It's important for me to know with how many contacts to get a listing.
And what's the advantage for you in knowing that number?
I can be more disciplined to do everyday activity.
Amazing. So what does it take for you to know how many contacts it takes to make a sale?
I need to check my numbers every day.
Did I say it? Did I say it?
No.
I didn't say it. Who said it? Who said it? She did. Now, when she says it, what does that mean? Does she understand what she's saying? If I say it, does she understand? When she says it, does she understand? So you see, with your prospects is the same conversation. When you are talking to a seller or a buyer, the words have to come out of their mouth. Not from your mouth, from their mouth. So directional questions are the ones that steer. Now, remember, I wanted to steer her from wherever she was to wherever I want her to be, correct? Yes? By saying to her, Iris, now you have, what is the better option for you? Option A, which was crappy, or option B, which was specific. Which one did she choose? B. I said, would you rather have just know that you're making 18 calls or know how many calls it would take you to get a listing? So it's the same thing with your seller. Mr. Seller, do you want to keep your property on the market for the next 5 years, or do you want to sell it and move to Terrebonne in the next 3 months? Well, rather sell them in 3 months. So we have to tell each other the truth, correct? Yeah. Now, do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? Or do you want to hear the truth? Again, I'm giving him an option. I want to hear the truth. Great. Can you handle the truth?
Not sure.
Well, yeah. Great. What are the average 3 prices of your neighbors that sold? 500,000. Great. What does it take to list and sell your house? At what price do you think we have to do it? 700,000. Great. So you want to keep it on the market for the next 5 years. I could do it. I could play that game long time. You see, I never tell them what to do. I just ask them what. Can you be wrong asking a question? Think about it. A guy has a date with a girl, first date, and he talks. Can he be wrong?
Yeah. Yes.
A lot. Now look at that face over there. Yeah. She's just, I just hit a date she had not too long ago, obviously. So, but can he be wrong asking questions? Yes, and I'll tell you how. But yes and no. Yes, he can screw up. If he doesn't know, he's screwed. Okay, so yes, he can be wrong. He could ask the wrong question. Okay, but in general, if he asks the right questions, what do you do for a living? I'm a real estate agent. Wow, that's interesting. How did you get into that business? Now, who's important in this conversation, him or her? Her. So you need to learn how to make them feel what? Important. They need to know that they are the center of the conversation. What do real estate agents normally do? They go into the house and they talk. Blah, 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 blah. Every word you say is $100 you're missing. The more you talk, the more you lose. Remember that. The more words come out of your mouth, the more money you are leaving on the table. Think about it. Think about all the times you screwed up. Was it the seller's fault or was it your fault? Think about it. Was it you that was just... Have any of you ever recorded your presentations live? You've done them here, I know, through the boot camp. Have you ever done them live? Do it. And just when you're out of that house, regardless if you've signed the contract or not, listen to it. You're going to hear the shit that you say. You're like, how the hell did I say these stupidities? And I'm telling you, you will realize these things and you will not make them again, or at least you'll make them much less. So when you ask a question, the third type of question is a yes and no answer. So you have 3 types: open-ended, directional, yes, no. Okay? Have you noticed that's exactly what I did as a strategy with Iris to bring her to do what? To admit that she needs to follow up her numbers. She needs to know her numbers. Okay? Okay, good. So one of the elements that you have to keep in mind is, I said the second thing you have to learn is to do what? Listen. Not hear. Listen. What's the difference between hearing and listening? You can hear noise, but then you're having an active listening. See, if you don't have an active listening, you're not understanding what's coming out of their mouth. And if you don't understand what's coming out of their mouth, you cannot ask what? The next question. Now, you can make it into an interrogation, and that's the most difficult part where most of the beginner agents have a hard time. They will ask a question, they'll listen to the answer, and then they'll ask the other question right after. That's the biggest mistake you could do. That becomes an interrogation, and no one wants to be interrogated. So there's an easy way around this. When you're listening to the answer, reformulate the answer. So when I asked Iris, I said, she told me a few things, and every time she was answering, if you'd notice, I reformulated. Oh, so you mean you were doing this? Yes. Okay, great. So now, or I say, okay, great. So you knocked on, on 8 doors. That's amazing. Good. How many of them answered? You notice? So I basically confirmed what she said, gave her a thumbs up by saying, okay, well, that's really good. Good for you. And then I asked another question. That becomes a conversation. When you ask the question, listen to the answer, reformulate in your words whatever she said, or paraphrase what she or he said, and then confirm it in a good way, in a positive way. Okay, that's good. So you decided to get into real estate, correct? Why did you decide to get into real estate?
The passion and my family introduced it to me growing up.
Oh, nice. That's interesting. So your family has been doing this for a long time?
Yeah.
Oh, great. What kind of real estate are you in?
Real estate investment.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. And so you grew up in that multiplex business?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. That's cool. How did you decide to get into the sales part?
Being salesman myself, my father also a salesman, and also him doing many like flips and house flips and stuff like that. And so seeing a first-hand point of view on the free labor I was as a son.
Free labor. I like the free labor part. So you heard that? Was that a conversation? Let me make it an interrogation. Listen. Why did you get into real estate? Give me the same answer.
Really like the investment part of it.
Okay. Now he answered me. If I go to the next question, something like, I have a hard time doing it. I practice so much, I can't unprogram myself. But then you go to the next question and say, okay, and why did you decide to get into sales? He's going to give me a second answer. Go ahead.
I like sales a lot. I've been into it for a little while now.
All right.
Yeah.
And what brought you to that?
Another question?
You see? Doesn't it feel, yeah, right? Have you noticed? I'm having a hard time not having, because I'm used to doing conversations now. It's not in my nature, by the way, guys. A lot of you guys don't know the real Fadi. The real Fadi is not that one. The real Fadi barks questions and orders. That's my nature. I'm a driver by nature. Okay? And under pressure, I become worse of a driver. Okay? So that means I want my answers and I want it yesterday. I don't care about the procedure. So I had to practice that. I had to work on that for years to become better at it. Practice and practice and practice. That now, today, I'm the other Fadi. I'm the Fadi that you see. Ask questions, listen to the answer, smile, nod, and ask you maybe another question, right? Okay? Unless you're calling me and says it's urgent, and then it's not urgent, and I get angry and I hang up the phone on you. And I call you the next day. Say, so what was your question again? Okay? So, why is that so important? Why is it important to learn how to ask questions and listening to the answers? Why is that so important? To understand where they are. Because they're somewhere. There's a cloud. They're somewhere in the cloud. You need to figure out where they are, and you need to bring them to where? To reality. They're in La La Land somewhere, and you need to bring them here. And if you don't know how to ask the right questions, and if you don't know how to prepare them for a conversation, you will not be able to bring them where you need to bring them. Okay? So, number 2. So practicing revolves around, obviously you guys understand that you need to start practicing that stuff, right? Okay. So you know how to do that on an everyday level? Take any subject with your best friend, your colleague, ask him an open-ended question, listen to the answer, paraphrase, nod with agreement, or say yes, or say great, and then move on to the next question and the next question and the next question. Try it. Try it. My girlfriend says our first date was an interview. Okay. The poor thing. And I was just smiling, and she was just blah, blah, blah. And you guys, a lot of you know her. She's here. But it was that. I don't want to waste my time. I liked her, but I wanted to make sure that I could have the same conversations going on with her. So it was an interview process. That was interesting. So practice revolves around 2 issues. The first thing is the amount of time that you put into practicing. What did we talk about Suzuki. We said he practices 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week to play 20 minutes. Now, my question to you is, how many hours do you practice? How many hours do you practice? How many hours do you sit in front of a mirror and you actually practice? What is not enough? Is that 5 minutes per day or per week? So you guys don't go to the gym, but you want to have big muscles. It's not going to happen. You don't go to the gym and you don't eat properly. Well, you're going to be a fat slob in front of the TV. That's what you're going to be. Think about it. Is there any way that you're going to be fit, strong, and healthy if you don't go to the gym? And if you don't eat properly? If you don't move? Is there any chance of this happening? So what are the odds that you're going to become a great listing agent if you don't do exactly that? If you practice, if you say to, you go to the gym and you say, you go inside the gym, and you're like, I'm going to practice today. You go in, you take those bells, and you're like, okay, I'm done, and then you leave. And then you don't come back till next week. What benefit does that have? None. Huh?
Take the picture for the Instagram.
Yeah, you take the picture for Instagram, you look good. That's what a lot of listings do. Somebody was telling me that I'm very active on social media. I said, which one? He says, Facebook. I said, I'm active? He says, yeah. I said, really? He said, yes. I said, okay, good, thank you. It's all automated, guys. I don't go on social media. I don't even know what else is going on in the world. I don't really care. Do you know why I don't care? Because it's not going to bring me any money. It's just not going to bring me any money. The war in Ukraine will not bring me any money. I can't change it. It's horrible, but can I change it? Can I go and say to Putin and what's the other guy's name? Whatever his name is, stop the war. And they're going to say, oh yeah, Fadi said stop, we should stop it. They're not going to stop the damn war. And I cannot change it. Is it sad? Yes. A lot of people are dying. Yes. Can I do anything about it? Can I do anything about it? No. And because I can't do anything about it, then it's not important. The event is important. People dying is horrible. The fact that I can't do anything about it, will it help if I just watch every day that bad news? No. But would it help if I sit in front of you and try to teach you about learning your scripts and hoping and praying that maybe one of you decides to practice for more than 5 minutes a week? Will that be a good thing? Can I control that? I can control what I say. I can't control what you think. Make sense? Okay, good. So the amount of time that you practice daily, not weekly, write it daily. Put a lot of emphasis. It's every single day. Think about it this way. You are supposed, look, your buyers and sellers, what are they thinking? They're thinking that you have a full-time job selling their property, correct? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Act like it. Have a full-time job in your own company. Practice every single day and put yourself a time. Don't say, I'm going to do that role play today on prospecting a FISBO for sell by owner. And I do it, it takes 5 minutes my way, 5 minutes the other way. Okay, we're done. I practice 10 minutes. I'm good. You're not going to become great. You're going to maybe become a little bit better than you were the day before, but you'll not become a great listing agent. There's no great listing agent that does not practice. None. None, 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 zero. Okay? The second thing is the intensity you put during the practice. So you could go to the gym and say, okay, I'm going to go for 1 hour at the gym. And you take those bells that weigh 2 pounds each, right? And you're like, well, I'm doing my job. No, that's not intensity. Intensity is when you're actually doing real weight, real lifting. So in here, when you are practicing a script, even by yourself, don't just read passively. No, don't do that crap. Practice it as if there is really another human in front of you. And if you're doing as a role play with a colleague, do it with intensity. Give him the objections that he needs to hear. So when it's his turn, he's going to give you all these objections. Great. That's how you become better. Let me tell you guys something. Let me tell you a secret. You know who's the toughest salesperson, seller, not salesperson. Who's the toughest seller and who's the toughest buyer? The toughest seller, the most difficult sellers to be able to list their property. You know who they are? Unmotivated. Who else? Parents. The ones that ask the most questions.
The one might consider working with you. Otherwise, they will not give you objections.
They will not give you objections unless they're thinking of selling with you.
I think someone who knows what they're doing. Like if you know what you're doing, if you have round up a couple of rotors, you understand the market, you're aware, watch out for this.
You're very close. Did you guys hear what she said? So it's around that. Come on. What did you say?
Other realtors.
Other realtors. They're the most difficult salespeople. Practicing with another real estate agent will give you all the objections in the world. Why? Because he's hearing them all the time. A regular seller doesn't really care. The minute you walk into the door, he's already decided to work with you or not. If you're dressed like a slob, he will not list with you. You got to be dressed professionally. You got to act professional, beautiful smile, nice handshake. If you go in and, I want to list that home. It's so beautiful. Dude, you're gone. You already decided you're not going to list that damn place. Okay? So when you go into it, you got to go into it properly, strong, with a beautiful smile, nice personality, well-groomed. Okay? Shiny shoes, nice suit for guys, nice outfit for women. Women, please, here. Thank you. I don't see anything weird, okay? Guys, understand this. Ladies, you need to be professional. You need to be dressed. It's not a beauty contest. They don't care. It's not Facebook. You don't need to have 7 dogs with you. They don't care about that stuff. They care about one thing. Can that woman sell my house? Yes, she's hired. No, she's out. Period. The minute you come into that door, they've decided on you. If you don't know how to smile, learn. Who's analytical here? Smile, damn it. Smile. Okay? Smile sells. A nice firm handshake sells. Okay? It sells. You don't have to break their hand. But don't go in weak either. Okay? So the intensity of your practice is very, very, very important. Now, you need to have a clear plan on practicing. Now, if you're going to the gym and you hire a coach or a trainer, right? You hire a trainer. Does the trainer give you a schedule? One day is leg day, the other day is arms day, the third day is back day, right? So there's a schedule. It's the same thing for real estate. Real estate is exactly the same thing. I used to have 5 days a week of prospecting the phone. Every morning, I had 3 days a week where I would practice pre-qualification, and 2 days a week where I would do a listing presentation with another agent. Now, every other day I was on a listing presentation with a seller. That gave me 2 days that I could actually practice. So I was really every day with a seller. And 2 of those days were the toughest days. So when I go in front of a seller, it was just a walk in the park. It was done. Because that seller can never come up with the shit that an agent can come up with as questions. Okay? Because we come up with stuff that is unreal. If I'm able to answer the objections that are unreal, sellers don't think about those. What do sellers want? What are the 3 things they want?
Yeah, they're
3
all-
things.
Money.
Okay, so they want to know how much the property is worth, right? Price.
How long it takes.
How long it will take to sell it, and
Your commission.
that's beginners always think of the commission. Professionals never think of that. They'll sell with you. If they like you, they'll sell at 6%, 7%, no issues. No, that's already pre-done. That's the price.
They trust you.
You, what are you gonna do to sell it? Price? Time?
Strategy.
Sorry?
Strategy.
And-
Strategy.
And are you the right person? Now, why is commission not really a big deal? You guys think of the commission as the biggest deal, but why is it, in my perspective, the smallest conversation? What does a seller really want? Does he want a weak agent? He wants a strong agent. So if you have how are you strong as an agent? How do you become strong as an agent? Knowledge and skills. And these 2 come with practice. Okay? So, the seller, the minute you walked in, he's already deciding. You are already a professional coming in. He knows that. If you've done your 5 steps, what are the 5 steps? Number 1, pre-qualify everybody and their mother. Ask all the questions on the script. Everything. Number 2, prepare and hand deliver your VIP package. Does it say email in what I just said? It says hand deliver. Paper. Okay? If you can't do it, send it with Uber. If you don't have Uber, call my dad. He would love to help you. Okay? Just saying, it has to be sent by hand. Number 3, call back and confirm that they've received the document, that they've read it, and that all the decision makers are there. All of them, even the dog. If he's a decision maker, you better be there. Because I'm telling you, they're going to say, we need to speak Fido, right? They're going to say it. You're going to hear it. Yeah, I used to do that all the time. I have to talk to Brody. God bless him. God rest his soul. He's my best friend. He would get me out of all kinds of deals. Because he was my partner. Nobody knew, but he was my partner. I have to speak to Brody. Number 4, go in early, 15 minutes early. Mentally ready. That means you're mentally there. You're already visualizing you sitting with the seller and signing a contract. Physically, 15 minutes early. And emotionally, positive. I don't care what happened on the way there. If there was traffic, if there was an accident, if you got a call from your notary about a deal, I don't care about all that. The minute you're walking out of your car, it's a big smile and everything that's going on is gone. Now you have one focus and one focus only. That house, you're going to list it at the right price and sell it. Period. That's it. Clear? And then number 5, read for God's sakes your listing presentation. Read and ask permission. Mr. Seller, I wrote some very important questions. Do you mind if I read them now? Is he expecting you to just talk? He's expecting you to do what? Read. So read. It's written what your questions are. One of the ways that I used to do it is simple. I took the listing presentation, all the questions, and put them in a point format. And every time he would give me an answer, I would write the answer. I would leave myself a little blank. And he would, well, that's professional. So are you still planning on selling the home and moving to Terrebonne, Mr. Benjamin? Yeah, okay, yes, Terrebonne. Which area in Terrebonne? Okay.
By the water.
By the water? Okay, good. Next question. That's a salesperson. That is a professional. Guys, I'm having papers in my hand. Does it make me less professional? Why do you believe that you don't need to be professional? That you don't need papers? That you know it all? Why do you think that? If I don't, why do you think you can? If a person in front of you that sells, I make more money than the average agent working 5 hours a week, because I have all my other companies that I handle. If I still do it, why the hell don't you? The year my highest year was 112 transactions. It's because I was reading. That's interesting. That's why I made money. And others that would just walk in and say, oh my God, that's so nice. I like the curtains, pink, beautiful. Yeah. Oh, the floor, oh my God, it's so beautiful. Oh, that dog. Really? Could you imagine your dentist doing that shit? Really? Could you imagine that? Like, could you imagine your lawyer doing that? You're paying him by the hour. Could you imagine him talking about God knows what? Instead of being what? Asking you what? What does a lawyer do? Anybody here ever been to court? Or what does a lawyer do? What does he do? Sits down? Has a nice pen and paper, and he's doing what? He's taking notes. He asks you what? Question after question after question after question. He's writing notes. That's a professional. What does a doctor do? Same thing. Same thing. Any professional asks questions, and all the amateurs talk. Okay? So, not only the amount of time you want to practice, but the intensity of it. Think of it that way. Imagine I would come here and make a nice presentation, and talk to you like that. No intensity. Really. How many of you would be still here? Look at that. There's people outside. There's how many here? Another 16. There's 60, 70 people watching this. Why? Think it's because it's boring? No. It's because it's intense. And that's how I am. If I'm going to give you that hour, I'm going to be the most intense possible to provide all the information I can within that hour. Don't ask me for another 5 minutes after that. I'm gone. I have something else. Okay? But that hour is yours. When you're with your clients, it's the same intensity. When you're practicing, it's the same intensity. Don't do it halfway. Don't do it if you're going to do it halfway. Okay, just don't. Don't practice. If you're just going to, no, don't go to the gym. Stay home. Okay? So you need to have a clear plan. What is the plan? How many times a week are you going to practice that script? How many times a week are you going to practice the other script? And so on and so forth. Okay, so I was having a conversation. I was at Mike Ferry's production retreat, and I was sitting with two really, really, really good agents from Montreal. They do about 200 plus transactions a year. And one of them, I said, oh, that's good. I was having a conversation with him, and I said, so how many hours a week do you work? He starts laughing. I said, okay, how many hours a day do you work? He says, I love working. I said, okay, you're boring, but fine. How many hours a day do you work? And his partner says, a lot. I said, great, give me a number. So he gives me a number. I said, okay, how many days a week? He says, 7 days. So I calculated 91 hours. So I said, okay, that's interesting. That's how much you make? Yes, that's how much I make. I said, okay, after expenses, that's how much left, right? He's like, yeah. So, okay, divided by how many weeks a year do you work? He told me the number of weeks, and he told me the number of days and of hours. And he came back to about $130 an hour. He says, good, isn't it? I'm like, no, it's horrible. So what do you mean? I said, why isn't it $400 an hour? You know what his answer was? There's not enough time. I said, no, there's not enough quality time. And he's good. He's young, strong. I love him, and we're good friends. And he laughs. His partner starts laughing. I said, what did I just say to you? He said, you just told me I suck. I said, exactly. And he said, so how can I be better? I said, I'll ask you another question. What is the job of a real estate agent? So I'll ask you all the same question. What is your job?
Helping buyers and sellers find their home.
He went on Google and searched it. Give me the real job. What is your job? What is your job? What is your damn job? Speak to people. Period. Nothing else is your job. Nothing else is your job. You're either on the phone with a person, in front of a person, door knocking, or doing a listing presentation or showing a property. That is your job. Period. Everything else is a waste of money. Everything else you can delegate. Everything. Paperwork, listing, filling up the damn documents. You could do tons of stuff. Outsourced. Your only job is to be either on the phone with a seller or buyer, knocking on the door of a seller or buyer, or sitting and doing a presentation to a seller or buyer. That's it. That's your job. Now, let me ask you this. If he does 91 hours of that job, would he make $500 an hour? Much more than $500 an hour. He could hit the $1,000 an hour. More money than you could even imagine or dream of. Doctors don't make that kind of money. Specialists don't make that kind of money. I don't know a lot of people that do. Honestly.
As a new broker, how you can delegate your job, like upload listings?
We have all these services at the office. RL, right there.
Yeah, I know.
So just do it there. Why are you asking me a stupid question like that? Thank you. Okay, come tell him. You're recording. There you go. Okay? So, good? That's what it is. Everything else you can delegate. Can you delegate taking a listing? Can't do that. Can you delegate a phone conversation with a seller or a buyer? Can't do that. This you can't do. Everything else you can.
Yeah, but that's 90 hours. 90 hours in this particular case. Who says that it doesn't do 90 hours of prospecting? I mean, it turns out that was the answer, that it couldn't be.
No. Because if he did 90 hours of prospecting, he'll be at 500 transactions.
230.
No, 230 is nothing. I'm telling you, it's not. Look, watch me. It's nothing. It's big. It looks big. Obviously, when you're doing 20, you're looking at 200 as humongous. He does a lot of prospecting. But he wastes a lot of time. Because to do 200 transactions, in reality, you're going to need about 250 listing appointments. If you work 250 days a year, that's one appointment a day.
And
One appointment a
I
day.
mean, this particular guy, 230 at least sales or transaction, he doesn't have no assist. He doesn't have
Exactly. Well, I'm telling you.
Uh,
He fired. I said, you are in the wrong. There you go. Okay. So if you really want to get to 200 transactions, guys, is 250 presentations max. If you know what you're doing. And if you're working 250 days a year, that's one presentation a day. Now, how long is a listing presentation? 20 minutes, 30 minutes? Okay. How long or how many contacts do you typically need to get a listing appointment? Why is it? Okay, you know what? Where did I hear 20 and 150? Like, that's two extremes. Which, you said 150? Who said 20? You said 20? Okay. In reality, is as many as it takes for you to get that appointment. Now, how do you become really, really, really good at taking appointments? Okay. Have you ever heard a really good prospector on the phone that books appointment right, center, and left? Have you ever heard anybody? Who did you hear? Dimi? Dimi is amazing at that. How difficult is it for Dimi to get an appointment? Nothing. Why? I'll tell you why. It's very easy. How many times he closes on the same appointment? How many times he closed on the appointment? You see, when I was prospecting full time, I played the penny game. You guys know the penny game? Did Dimi teach you the penny game? Okay, so write it down. It's the coolest game in the world. We don't have pennies anymore, so get dimes or get nickels, whatever. Okay, we'll call it the nickel game because we're in Canada. So we'll play the nickel game. Get 7 nickels. Put them in front of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. While you're prospecting. Every time you try to get the appointment with that same seller and he says no, move a penny up. And you cannot hang up until you've done all 7 or he hang up on you. You're going to drop, look at me, 150.
Yeah.
Murad, you're going to drop from 150 to 30. Yeah, for listing. If you play the penny game, you will drop from 150 to maximum 30. 30 conversations trying to close 7 times on each one of them? Dude, you suck if you can't book at least 5 appointments. Real conversations. Real conversations. Every 6 contacts I had an appointment. Every 6 contacts I had an appointment. And you know what I would do? I would book them all in parallel. I would have 6 appointments per day. 6 per day. I'm like, okay, how do you handle 6 appointments per day? I don't. I flush all of them and I just keep 2. I flush 4. Garbage. Why? Why? They're not serious. When I pre-qualify them, garbage. Garbage. Oh, this guy, I like. He's a A. And I go, oh no, he's an A. Okay, that guy's a B now. And I would choose who I'm going to go see. Every single day, I had 2 slots to book appointments. 2 of them. From 5 to 6:30, that includes my déplacement, and from 7 to 9. I had 2 of them. Book 1 appointment, 2 appointments, 3 appointments. 1 appointment, 2 appointments, 3 appointments. When I'm done at 12, pick up the phone, pre-qualify these 6. Serious, not serious, serious, not serious, serious, not serious. Oh, shit, I have a problem. I have 3 serious. Which ones are the most serious? A and B. Thank you very much. Cancel C. Not interested. Not interested. Why? Do I want the ones that want to sell or the ones that need to sell? So I need to figure out if they need to sell. Okay? Now, we have 1 minute, and I want to talk to you about something that is very important. Who's in the boot camp right now? Raise your hands very high. Very, very high. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many people you have in the boot camp, Jimmy? 6. Where are the other 2?
One taking care of his son, and the other one decided to go to a listening presentation.
Okay, give me their names. I'm going to fire them. Give me their names. They're not in boot camp anymore. I'm firing them. If they're not here listening actively, they don't deserve to be in this business. I'll have a conversation with them. Guys, what I teach Jimmy is what you guys need to do. And if you don't do it, I know you don't do it. And I don't get happy. Because we hired you based on future production. If you don't want to produce, get out. I have no problem firing agents. I'm the only agency that doesn't have any problem doing it. If you don't want to work and be a productive agent, then why the hell are you in this business? If you're married and I tell your spouse that you're not working hard enough, you think they'll be happy? How about if I tell your kids, oh, you know why you're not going to Disney? Mama here is not working. And I have their number. Okay? Guys, when you're here, you're here. Intensity. Remember that. Intensity. Jimmy doesn't need to be here. He doesn't care if you guys succeed or not. I don't even care if you succeed or not. I would love it if you succeed because I have fun watching people succeed. I don't care. I'm not going to die from hunger if you guys don't succeed. I don't really care. You will. You'll have a hard time paying bills, and your kids are going to be miserable not going to Disney. Not my kids. I decided that my kids can go to Disney whenever they want. And I decided that I could travel wherever I want, whenever I want, and do whatever I want. It's a decision that I took. Now, it's up to you to take that decision. Either you are serious about your business or you're not. Okay? Who here is coming to Larry's next in 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
You'll hire, guys. You'll hire.
I'll hire. Just let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Where's your hand? Okay. Where's your hand? I can't see it. Where's your hand? Where is it? Why? No. We want to hear it. We're all curious. Why? What's so important? What is so important, guys, that makes you what is so important that makes you miss knowledge? Guys, I just said it to you. Knowledge and skills is what's going to keep you in this business. It's the only way. Guys, we are going through. Can I tell you how many agents are still in business that actually know where this market is going? There's about 15,000 agents in Quebec. Less than 3,000 know exactly where we're going. The other 12,000 have no clue where we're going. We're going through hard times. Hard times build what? Strong men, strong women. Strong men and strong women need skills. If you don't have skills, you're out of this business. If you're okay to be out of the business, find out whatever damn excuse you have and leave it. Because that's exactly what's going to happen, Chris. You're my friend and I love you. And I'm telling you this truth. Face to face, eyes to eyes. I'm losing money on this fucking thing. I don't care. Why do I want it so much? I seem to want it more than you guys want it. And I find that weird. I find it weird. Why would I want your success more than you want your own success? That's pretty weird. It's because I have confidence in you. I know you have it inside of you. I know you have strength that you're just hiding, that you're scared of bringing out. Chris is a good friend of mine, so I'm going to tell him something. Chris, I'm going to tell you something, and I think and I love you. I'm going to say it in a very good way. You're like one of these amazing soldiers that have a beautiful Uzi that is shooting everywhere, hoping to hit something. If you would focus, and I've told you that many times, if you could just take that focus, because you have so much light around you, you are full of light. If you can take that light and just squeeze it to become a laser, you'll be a destruction machine. You'll be you'll be the best in a good way. Okay? You have it. Chris, I know what you have inside of you. You're a very good friend of mine, and I know what you have inside of you. And I'm just saying to you, focus. Just take that. Just take all the stuff that you have and just squeeze it and focus it, and you'll be a killer in this business. 100 transactions would be nothing for you. I'm telling you. You have exactly what it takes. Okay? So whoever's not registered, please get registered ASAP. Okay? Guys, this is for your good. It's not, I know what Larry talks about. I can do Larry's training. But Larry does it very, very, very effectively. He gets you guys to practice. He gets you guys to do it. He gets you guys to get out of that comfort zone. People always ask me, why do you get trained all the time? Because I'm just hoping and praying to learn one extra thing to put it in my laser so it just becomes even stronger. Okay? So, any questions for me? Any questions? Or did I completely demoralize you? Okay? No, guys, think of it. I know you guys have it in you. I just want you to do it, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks.